Hi guys, welcome to Chalchitra Talks. मेरा नाम दिशा है and today I thought it would be fun to combine two of my favorite things, animation and documentaries, and talk to you about some of my favorite animated documentaries. The first documentary is Waltz with Bashir. Waltz with Bashir is an animated autobiographical war film written and directed by the Israeli filmmaker Ari Folman. Folman was actually an infantry soldier in the 1982 war with Lebanon and witnessed the massacre but was unable to recall any memories from that time period. This movie is about him seeking out and interviewing his old army friends and others who were in Beirut at that time in an attempt to piece together and reconstruct what he actually witnessed. This is a devastating masterpiece on the horrors of war and is probably one of the best war films I have ever seen. The choice of the music, the style of animation, the structure of the film, all of it is very arresting and make it a very impactful film. The second one is The Man Who Was Tall Happy by Michel Gondry. This is an animation of a series of interviews conducted by the filmmaker Michel Gondry with the esteemed scholar Noam Chomsky. This is largely a discussion about his work in linguistics and philosophy. Another fair one-line summary for this film would be Gondry fangirling over Chomsky for 1 hour 30 minutes straight. When you first get into this film, the pairing of Gondry and Chomsky feels a little odd and mismatched, but it grows on you. And it definitely provides a space for Chomsky to explain his theories to a non-academic audience. And that is why this film is often thought of as a very good introduction to his work for people who are looking to get into it. The discussions are very thought-provoking, but do feel scattered and unfocused at some points, especially because of how self-conscious Gondry is and the language barrier that exists between them. But the choice to leave the awkwardness that emerges from these factors only works in the film's favor, or at least I believe so. The film is sprinkled with a lot of personal stories from Chomsky's life as he's asked about his childhood, his wife, what he likes to do for entertainment, which gives us a glimpse into what he is like as a regular human being. This is an entirely hand-drawn animation and is very visually appealing. Gondry doodles his interpretation of the ideas being discussed, which is very interesting to see. The third film is Ryan. Ryan is an Oscar-winning short animated documentary by Chris Landreth about the Canadian animator Ryan Larkin. This film investigates into Larkin's downward spiral from being one of the most successful and influential animators of his time to living every artist's worst nightmare, which is succumbing to addiction and having to beg in the streets in order to make ends meet. This film plays with the idea of what humans would look like if they walked around wearing their past, their traumas, their addictions, troubles, worries on their body everywhere they went, which I thought was a very arresting idea and unlike anything I've seen before. This is only a 13-minute watch which powerfully covers some very heavy topics with utmost respect. The next one is called Just a Guy. For those of you who aren't well versed with serial killers and don't know who Richard Ramirez is, let me provide a little bit of context for you. Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker, was someone who was convicted of committing heinous crimes against at least a dozen women, despite which he continued to enjoy a very dedicated female fan following while he was in state prison because he was a conventionally attractive dude. The director of this 15-minute documentary, Shoko Hara, is one of these women. Along with two other women, she provides a glimpse into what her relationship with Ramirez was like. This is a very intriguing documentary and the style of animation employed is incredible and does a very good job of evoking an intense sense of fear and concern for the human race in you successfully. The last documentary is called The Shining Star of Losers Everywhere. This is a documentary about a racehorse called Haru Urara, who is known for not having won a single race. At that point, the racecourse owners were looking for ways to promote their course, and they decided to send Haru's story to the media. Against the backdrop of economic difficulties that Japan was undergoing at that point of time, a lot of people connected with this story of a consistent loser who never gives up, and it got a lot of traction, and Haru became a national icon overnight. As she continued to fail, people's support for her only increased. This documentary is an adorable 20-minute watch which makes the use of animation very beautifully to cover up the gaps in between. And that's all I have for this video. I'll be sure to leave links to whatever I can find down below. And as usual, please leave your recommendations for me in the comments. And I'll see you guys next year. Bye!